Hello, good morning. So exciting. 2 seconds. Okay. Right, 2 seconds. I can see there are 2 people waiting. Yeah, Giussiani, Rhiannon, Gail, good morning. Good morning. Let me just check that Emily has got the link as well. 2 seconds, Emily.
See now, you can go with Nana.
We've got Emily is here. Jen. Sorry, I'm almost there, just making sure that people know where the links are. Okie dokie. I think we're almost there. Luke Zoe. Perfect. Okay, I think I tagged everyone. Okay, perfect. Good morning. Good morning. And sorry for the slightly late start with running 2 courses one after the other. Giussiani, we missed you. We missed you in the previous course, now that you're not there. and Emily and Rhiannon, I know you're still on the other course as well. And it's nice to see you all. And I'm excited about this one. I was still doing prep yesterday because I was thinking, oh my gosh, is there enough there? And probably I'm overloading everyone, and you know, I'm sure that it'll be fine. But yeah, last minute panicking. But really excited to be running the course. And of course, I've got amazing guinea pigs to test out my knowledge on, and obviously I look forward to hear what you think of these deep dive courses. So I'm going to start sharing my slides because of course there's a lot of stuff to go through, and here we go. Okay, so we got new course. So Secret One, week 1. Okay, we're all on the same page. We're on the new course, and this is the deep dive. So if you remember from the little map of all the different things that the Naturally You course covers. This week is about certainty. Okay, so that's where we start from. This is our new journey in understanding what really is allowing us to get certain in our lives. So if you remember Secret One, we deal with certainty, fear less, love more, the breathing, the relaxation and rest, the hydration. We scan our environment, and is about addressing our root chakra and working with our energy. Okay, so this course obviously is more in depth. So it means that we have the opportunity to breathe a little bit and to actually do some work, you know, and some work together. So I'm going to push you, you know, to do some exercises as well, you know, as we go along, and we're going to start with a little bit of a few questions here. So creating an extraordinary life, quality of life. So everyone wants the same. We want to have this amazing life, not mediocre, but magnificent. Yeah, we want to have a really fantastic, amazing life. So there are 2 main forces that guide our life. So the meaning and the emotion. The meaning is the force that shapes your life. Yeah, so why, yeah, is the why do we do things. The emotion is what colors it, so is the how. Okay, so the first two questions here that I would like to put to you, and you're going to have a few minutes to answer, is why are you here? Okay, so why are you doing this course? And the second one is, what do you really want? Yeah, what do you want to achieve? They're two different questions. They might sound similar, but why are you here? And what do you really want? What are your ultimately your results? You know, what you want to get out of this. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Yeah, so we got 5 minutes starting now. And I'd like you to focus on these two questions. So why are you here? And what do you really want? Let me put some background music. 1 minute left. Perfect. Okay, obviously feel free to come back as well to these questions. I know, Emily, you shared as well here in the chat, and that's absolutely amazing that you have done. And anyone can share on the course as well. And maybe we can give it a couple of minutes, for those sharing, if anyone would like to tell me what you're looking to get out of this. Or if you don't, I won't ask. It's absolutely fine. But is anyone willing? Put your hand up, or otherwise we can go on to the next part. Yeah, go on, Gail.
Sorry, Roman. Roman, just got my mother. I am here because I am passionate about living a healthy life in every way possible. I want my children to grow, live in a healthy lifestyle where they are happy and mentally as well as possible.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much. And I know obviously everyone will have different reasons, to be here. It is about obviously whatever feels right for you at this point, and these questions and the answers that you're giving them might also change over time as well. And obviously we can get to revise these as and when we need to as well. And when it comes to the quality of your life, is about living life on your own terms. Yeah, so this is about you defining what these terms are. Yeah, so what are they? What are the things that you're not going to be willing to compromise on? What are those things that you want to do more of in your life? Yeah, it's not just about the benefits, but what are those things that are going to get you there? Okay, so what are your terms? What are the things that you're no longer going to do? What are the things that you're going to do more of? Yeah, so again, here you might want to start writing a list. So I'm going to give you a minute or so to start writing down a couple of things, but you might want to add to this list over the next week, giving it some thought. Okay, so, what are those things that are important to me that I'm not going to negotiate on anymore? Yeah, so if it is relationship, okay, so I am not willing to stand anymore for someone that disrespects me. Yeah, I'm not willing to go to bed without a goodnight kiss. Yeah, whatever it is, what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether the other person does it or not. Yeah, this is about you. This is about your own terms. This is about defining what is important to you, whether you've got a partner or not. Yeah, this is about the things that are important to you. So what are your terms? Okay, what happens as a result is something that you might want to deal with later on. But what are your terms? You need to be certain. If we're talking about certainty, you want to be certain of what you want, not what other people are like and what you're going to get out of that. But in terms of, let's relate it to your work life. Okay, so what am I prepared to do to get an income? What job do I want to have? Not what job do I have, What job do I want to have? Is my job fulfilling my needs? Is it keeping me happy, motivated, or do I feel like, oh God, I really can't be bothered to go in today? Yeah, because this is about your terms. Are you really going to waste your time doing things that you don't love? Yeah, I wake up every morning excited about Naturally Fed. It's just like, because I put together a company doing the things that I love. And, I talk to people that I love. I talk about subjects that interest me. I do things, some people might think, my ex says that, that all I do is work. If I'm out foraging, if I'm doing yoga, it's saying you're working. Well, no, well, call it work, but for me, it's life. I'm doing the things that I love doing. So what are those things that are important to you? What are those things that you want to surround yourself with? And if your work is not part of that, if your work is making you unhappy, don't focus on the things that you don't want. You focus on the things that you want. So what is your aspirations? What are the things that make your heart race? What are the things that bring joy to your life? And literally you need to list those things and decide which ones are the ones that are absolutely a must. What are the priorities? What are those things that you're not going to compromise on? And even in friendships, you might be the organizer, you might be the one that galvanizes everyone. Come on, let's go and do something. Or you're posting on Facebook, who's coming with me? And nobody replies. And you're going to start thinking after a while, maybe like, what do I do this for? Like, I'm putting all this effort. I'm the one that throws the dinner parties and nobody invites me to their dinner parties. I'm the one that has to do all the cleaning of the pots and pans afterwards and having to clean the house after I've already cleaned it beforehand, because obviously I didn't want people to come to a messy house, and now I've got to do it again. And guess what? I can't even remember last time that someone invited me for dinner. So like, this stuff has an impact, and it's like, maybe you need new friends. Maybe you need to look at the quality of the friendships that you have around you. Family, okay? Ooh, touchy subject for a lot of people. Some people have got amazing families. I know for sure there's some of the conversations that I had recently. Some of my friends said, oh, we got the in-laws coming to stay until Christmas. I can't cope. I don't want to be around them. Need must sometimes. I can see already the reactions here. Absolutely. But it's like, do we have to? I know obviously it is sometimes a must, because obviously we don't want to upset our partners. Or like, if it is our direct family, we have sometimes relationships that are positive and some relationships are toxic. And and it's like, do I really need to have those relationships in my life, even if they're family? And I know that, some people might say, but they're your family. Yeah, but they're toxic, so it's just like, I choose not to have that in my life. Thank you very much. And it's really, not about what other people think or what the etiquette says that you should, or what religion tells you, respect your elders. Well, if they're being horrible, then no, sorry, no, I don't need to respect my elders. I will remove myself from that situation, and I will save my time for those things that I want to nourish, that are important to me. So what are those terms? What's important to you? If we're talking about certainty, that's where you get certain, is about you tuning into yourself and really understanding, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Not how do I live my life? Because how you live your life is a result of what you've gone through. So how you live your life is a result of what you studied, whether you were good at something or not, the friendships that you had, your parents telling you to do this or to that and to do that, and pushing you into, the ballet class or the martial arts class, when really what you wanted to do was to go in a field and play with mud and, whatever, and saying, your life that you live is a result of all those experiences that you had. But what is your actual dream life? What are you looking for? What do you want to achieve? What makes you happy? And, if you're not doing that already, you're wasting time. When are you going to start living the life of your dream? Because life doesn't happen to you, happens for you. So every time that something happens in your life, any problem, any difficulty that you have faced is always that opportunity to go back and actually explore what's the positive lesson out of that? What have I learned? Yeah. And what am I going to do as a result? Because, there's no such thing as failure. Failure is only when you do not learn anything. Yeah. If you don't learn anything from an experience, that's a failure. Yeah, because you're going to be there again. You're going to do that again. Yeah, if you have had a crap relationship where you've experienced domestic violence and you haven't learned out of that process, and you're attracting another person who's another narcissist abuser, is because you haven't understood the lesson from the previous relationship. I've been there. I know I failed myself because I haven't learned, to spot those signs, to spot, that type of person, but the same goes in every kind of scenario that you got out there. So if you have a problem is not a problem unless you define it as such. Is an opportunity. A problem is an opportunity for you to focus and redirect yourself in a different way. Yeah, there's no such things as obstacles. Obstacles are just opportunities for you to kind of really reassess and redirect your life in a different direction. So, certainty comes from that energy that you have within you, that you can understand these circumstances, you can, undo the hurt, because you can look at what is the lesson, what is the positive that I'm taking out of that. And, once you have that knowledge, then you can shape your future. But your future ultimately always has to point in that direction of what is the meaning, what is the emotion. So why am I here? What do I want to achieve? And what am I going to do to color it? What are the things that I'm going to negotiate on, and the things that are absolutely a must and I will not do without? Yeah. So once you're clear with yourself, yeah, you're going to put out a different energy, but you're also going to be better equipped to say, no, thank you. I don't need that, because it's not going to conduce me or get me to the point that I want. Okay. And it's, sometimes you have to be like that. You have to be like that, even with, people that you have in your life, like I said, family and partners. Yeah, you might have kids. Yes, you might have, you might need to be there for your relatives because they're going through a traumatic time, because they're ill or whatever. But, it's not always your responsibility. It's not something that you can't break away from. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, there's other things to think about. Children, responsibilities, a house that you bought together. But is it really worth you having I'm not saying necessarily mediocre in the sense of like, iffy sort of life. Is about, if you are unhappy, yeah, mediocre in the sense, are you unhappy? Yeah, then why are you staying there for? When you can actually fulfill your dreams in a different way. Sometimes it's about being clear with yourself and what you want, and that can dictate then whether you are on your path, whether you are able to get to the things that make you happy. And some decisions are going to be really, really difficult to make. But this is where it starts. And this is where, on courses like these, when you start looking at NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, any personal development, anything that makes you grow, you have to be in or around people that are like-minded. And that involves your partner, it involves your family, and everyone that is on this journey will have already know. And I know already from the people that are on this course right now, the arguments that you've already had with your partner, with your mother, with people in your life, because you're saying, well, we're not going to eat meat anymore, or I want us to go out for a walk in nature. And it's like people feel challenged because they don't have the same knowledge that you have. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to split up just because of things like that. What I'm saying is that you need to, you have a degree of responsibility in educating the people around you. These courses are not just about you making changes, but it's about you creating a ripple effect. You want other people to know, even if you're just changing the food that you're cooking, you're going to have a ripple effect because you're going to improve the health and well-being of your partner, your kids, the people that are coming to those dinner parties that you're going to have to clean up for afterwards. So you are going to create that ripple effect. And guess what? It might be that you're feeding someone, I don't know, some sauerkraut that you made yourself, and that person has gone home, a friend of yours that actually has IBS, and they're going to phone you the day after going, I don't know what you've done, but actually, for the first time in 10 years, yesterday I didn't have diarrhea. What was in the food, and that will spark up a conversation that could be totally transformational for that person, just because you've got that knowledge, you've got that skill, to be able to cause that ripple effect and impact on other people's lives. So very important, but it's sticking to your guns, is knowing what you want, is knowing what is going to really push you forward, because you're doing the things that you love. Yeah. So you start, this journey with these questions. Okay, so of course, on this course, we're still talking about gut health, so we want to regulate the gut. And as you know, from the foundation course, you need to really look at, some of those red and brown foods. So a diet rich in fiber that is going to really shift, that waste matter, that you've got also the enemas, if it's something for you, to help you regulate yourself, but it's very, very much about continuing. And for the duration of these 7 weeks, you can either concentrate on that red, brown sort of food, or you can still do the rainbow diet, because obviously it's all going to help you, even if you're doing it, week by week, one color for every week of this course, or whether you want to go deep, and just focus on reds and browns, for the duration of the 7 weeks. It might be more challenging, but it's going to be a lot deeper. Okay, so it's entirely up to you how you do it. There's no prescription in that sense, because everyone, is on an individual journey. So I'm not going to dictate to people how to do it. The important part of it is that you're still making sure that this is about the root. Yeah, so we're still looking at, as the root chakra, we want to make sure that we are eliminating, that we are regular, that we are, going to the toilet regularly, essentially. So you're aiming to go to the toilet at least once per day, or as many times as the meals that you have. It is essential that you track this for the duration of the program. Okay, so if you are not going to the toilet regularly, you really need to do the work to increase, that opportunity to go to the toilet. Whether it is with the brown foods, so the dried fruit like the dates, the figs, the prunes, the things that really can help you. Licorice root powder can be a mild laxative as well. Orange juice, in higher quantities, or vitamin C in higher quantities can be a stimulant as well. Epsom salts, not in the bath, but just literally a teaspoon in water, really better. But again, it can be a laxative if you're feeling stuck. Those are things that can help you. But the important part is that you're really looking to empty yourself on a daily basis, at least once a day. Okay, so that's just a little bit on the gut that I'm going to cover today. There will be more during the course as well, but obviously it's about regulating. We also want to release. So emotionally, we have quite a journey in front of us, but you may want to take a few moments to think about the following questions. Okay, and again, I'm going to give you 5 minutes for this as well. So what has been holding me back so far? What are the areas of my life that are most problematic? Finances, relationships, work, children, whatever. Yeah, what are the areas that are most problematic? What emotions are unhelpful for me to move forward? Do I always feel pissed off? Do I feel upset and sad? What are those emotions that are unhelpful? What people do I need to let go of or surround myself with for me to have a more fulfilled life? Again, is it friends? Is it partners? Is it family? Is it the postman that annoys me every morning because they do something at my door that they shouldn't be doing? Whatever. What are those things that really have an impact on me? Yeah. So releasing is these questions are very much about emotional stuff. Okay, so what are the things that are holding me back? Okay, and again, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to start on these questions to make a start. I'm not going to ask you for the answers, but I just wanted to start, reining it in yourself and giving these questions some thought. Okay, so 5 minutes. I'll put some nice meditation music in the background.
Ciao a tutti.
Perfect, perfect. So I know we've got a couple of people that have joined in just now, but what we are just looking at is just answering a few questions. You will be able to catch up with the recording from this call as well. But we have already looked at a couple of questions around why are you here? And so why are you here and what you really want, so why are you on this course and what do you really want to achieve out of all of this? And also, what are the things in your life, the terms that you want to live your life by? Yeah, so what is important to you? What are you not going to compromise on? And we just done another little exercise here as well about releasing. So what are the things that are holding me back? What areas of my life are most problematic? What emotions are unhelpful for me to move forward? And what people do I need to let go of or surround myself with for me to have a more fulfilled life? So I just ask people to start writing things down. Obviously, these are exercises that you can go back to and keep reviewing as well. So this is about you going back and doing this work, whenever you need to, whenever you got the time to kind of assess your circumstances. Okay, so you can come back to these. Okay. We also, I said that this week, and on this course, we are still going to look at regulating the gut. So making sure that you can do a red 7 weeks, so focusing on red and brown foods, or you can still do the rainbow diet as you did on the foundation course, so 1 week for every color. It doesn't really matter, you're still going to get amazing benefits, but obviously if you do the red and browns for the 7 weeks, then you're going to go much deeper with your cleanse, and also spiritually, and also with the nutrition from these foods. You still need to make sure that you're going to the toilet regularly, so that you're emptying yourself on a daily basis, and you need to monitor this. And if you're not, then obviously you can rely on things like the brown foods, so the dried fruit like the figs and the dates, the prunes, to help you go, enemas as well. And that you also, basically you need to be as regular as possible. Okay, so that's just a quick summary of what we have covered so far. But we are also looking during this course to regulate and releasing. Okay, so during the next 7 weeks, your number one priority will be to tune in into your natural rhythms. Okay, so so getting an understanding of how, so there's a spelling mistake there. So getting an understanding how to let go of your waste, physical or emotional, will be key for you to build a solid foundation. Okay, so understanding how to let go is the emotion here, is physical and emotional. Yeah, so letting go of your waste, of your toxicity, of your and also of your emotional baggage, so those things that are no longer serving you. Okay, so it's very much about letting go that you're going to focus on during this course. And if you remember, we covered the 7 human needs during the foundation course. Okay, so there's a quick summary here. We got certainty, which is what we're covering with this course, and then variety, significance, love, contribution, growth, and connection. So the 7 human needs drive every decision that you make. It is therefore vital that we start with them if we truly want to empower ourselves to transform our lives. Okay, so this is where we start to get to know the forces that guide us forward. All dysfunctional behaviors arise from our inability to consistently meet these core needs. Okay, so what that means is that if when all of these needs are met. So when we have done the work to understand what they are and we are satisfying our needs, any activity that satisfies all of these 7 needs becomes highly addictive. Yeah. So as I said, naturally fed. When I do naturally fed, I feel certain, I feel secure because I talk about stuff that I know. I feel that I got variety because I meet new people and I talk about, things that, new stuff all the time that I come across. I got significance because I'm on a stage, I'm talking to you. I feel that I can never say. I feel love, from the feedback that I get from you all, and I give love back. I feel that I'm contributing because I'm improving people's lives and the community out there. I constantly grow. Yeah, so I'm constantly learning, and so are you. And I feel always connected. I always feel divine, that I'm doing something amazing with my life. So that's where I get the addiction to naturally fed. Yeah. So when you find something that fulfills these 7 needs, it becomes highly addictive. Yeah. But in life, we can achieve this balance, but it's not always going to stay balanced. So all of a sudden, if my, let's talk about love. So if my relationship goes downhill, or if there's a breakup, yeah, my energy, my focus is going to go onto that need of my life, which means that I might not, for example, look after my friendships, or I might not do my personal development. I might not do my yoga. I might not have time to read, an article that I've been meaning to, because now I need to focus my attention on my relationship, so my behavior will change as a result of that. Yeah, and that's where I'm going to have a dysfunctional behavior. So I'm going to focus on something, and obviously I'm going to make decisions based on that, because my needs are not being met. My needs are not balanced. Okay, so when people's needs aren't just behind the bad decisions we make, they're also behind the great things that we accomplished. Yeah, so obviously, just because we're focusing on something, so again, it could be that I'm not meeting my other needs, because now love is what I'm focusing on, because now actually what I want to do is to plan a romantic holiday with my partner. So I'm putting my energy into that because I want to make it special. So I might be leaving some stuff behind. Yeah, but actually I'm going to accomplish something greater. So, it can be both positive and negative, but sometimes we create that disparity, that change in looking after all the 7 needs. Okay, so understanding your own needs and psychology can not only help you to avoid toxic behaviors and habits, but can also help you achieve your goals. Okay, so when you understand your needs, it might be that sometimes you think, okay, what is my prevalent need? Yeah, it could be that what you need most in your life would be love, growth, and connection, and certainty and variety might not be as significant for you, and it's fine. It doesn't mean that you have to do a balanced number of activities that means that you're covering them all, but it might be that you're only doing a couple of things here and there for certain ones, whereas you're concentrating on others because they're more important to you. Okay, so it's understanding what every need plays as a part in your life. Okay, and when we look at how we develop our human needs, each of us is unique and shaped by our individual life events and corresponding emotions. So everything that happens to us will generate something. Yeah, we generate an emotion. So if we fall because we slept on a banana and and we hurt our fingers, we might develop the emotion the bananas are bad for us. Yeah, because we broke our finger because of the banana. So that's how our brain works. Yeah, so many of our deepest needs are developed in childhood, when our minds are taking in all the information that they can. Okay, so like I said, this might be very stupid, yeah, but our brain as a child is taking in everything, and now I know that I've fallen because I slipped on a banana skin and I've broken my finger. So there's lots of information, but what I'm associating in my brain is the banana and the broken finger. Banana hurts, banana bad. Yeah, so that's a very simplistic way, but we are influenced very deeply by things that have happened to us. Okay, so this information, whether positive or negative, creates our beliefs and values. Okay, those create our entire world. Okay, we shape everything that we do based on our beliefs and our values. I'm not good at anything. Yeah, I don't value people in my life. Yeah, so I'm not going to put myself in the situation where I'm going to present and speak in front of people, because I'm not good at it, because I'm not good at anything, and I don't value people in my life. So, I don't want to speak to people because they scare me. So I will make decisions based on my beliefs and my values. Okay. Each of us prioritizes our needs differently, and our decisions are based on which needs we put first. Yeah. So out of those 7 needs, what's the most important one? Yeah. And if right now you're homeless, yeah, or about to become homeless, your certainty, yeah, need is going to be high, because you want to have food, you want to have a roof above your head, because you're shaken, your life is going to be unstable, you don't know where you're going to live. So that need is going to be high. So needs can change during time, but it might be the one becomes your predominant need, and another one perhaps is not going to be as important. Okay, so really important that we kind of understand which needs do we put first. Whilst the 7 human needs are deeply ingrained in us, remember that our past is not your future unless you live there. Yeah, you might remember that example that I gave, that you can't drive your car forward if all you do is keep looking in the rear mirror. Yeah, if you keep looking behind, you can't go forward. So it's important that you think, the past is the past. You learn from it, but you don't keep wondering, worrying, thinking about everything that's happened. Yeah, you can't go saying, I'm not going to do that because I tried it before and it didn't work. Well, it may be that this time, if you try something different, it will work. Yeah, if we live in the past, we can't go forward. So don't live in your past. You can choose to fulfill your needs in a healthy way, as well as bringing balance into your life by developing your ability to fulfill all of your needs equally. Okay, you don't have to do the unequal amount of things, but it means that perhaps you're giving a lot of thought to your relationships, so your love need, the need for significance, and the other needs perhaps have got less, but you're still looking after them all equally. They got different importance, and therefore they need a different amount of time or activity to satisfy them, but you can still meet all of them equally, okay, according to their priority. Yeah. So when it comes to certainty that we're focusing on, certainty is one of our core needs, and you need to feel secure and safe about the future. Yeah, so it's really it's a basic one. Yeah, we start from this one because it's about safety, it's about grounding. So when you receive positive recognition, it may be accompanied by a need for certainty that the recognition is authentic and will continue. Yeah, so it's about knowing that this is 100% what that means. Yeah, so it's like when someone says I love you, and if your brain goes straight away into, oh, but do they really mean it? Are they lying to me? Are they saying this to please me, or blah blah blah? This is your need for certainty. That's because you're not feeling secure. Okay, so it's a very base need. It can really shake people up if you don't have security and stability in your life. In order to live a life filled with certainty, your life has to stay the same, a nearly impossible expectation to fulfill. So you artificially control your environment by changing your expectations or avoiding new situations or people. So people that need the stability, so people that want to feel certain, yeah, will alter their environment. Okay, so what this means is that, okay, so my stability is that I like to be healthy. I don't want any bacteria. I don't want any viruses or illnesses. So I'm going to become a clean freak. Yeah, so I'm going to develop OCD and change my environment because my stability needs to be this. This is how pristine my house needs to be for me to feel secure. Yeah, I can see some nods there. Okay, so when I need certainty, I am going to organize, yeah, all my letters and documents in a proper way, because I know where everything is. There's a place for everything, and everything is in its place. Yeah, it's not just about cleaning. Certainty can come as well out of, I'm going to have a meal planner. because I know what is going to happen. Yeah, I need that rhythm. Yeah, that rhythm gives me security and stability because I know what's going to come next, because life is predictable. Yeah, because I don't have anything that is going to be making me, oh, I run out of olive oil. What am I going to do next? So these are the people that will plan ahead. Yeah, people that need stability and certainty in their life are normally people that are very organized. Yeah, so it's about having, not necessarily, but because obviously there's people that need stability and they need it because they're not organized. But generally, people that want to take control are people that need stability. So people that are control freaks, they need to have that regular kind of rhythm. These people can be really thrown by variety. Okay, so someone knocking at the door, oh my God, someone needs to come into my house. I haven't cleaned, yeah, or I'm not prepared. I don't have snacks to give, or or I didn't make time for this because I have a schedule, of things that I'm gonna do today, and now I'm gonna have to spend an hour here. Yeah, I love to see them, but they didn't make an appointment. So it's, this is about, people can be really thrown if their certainty is shaken up by variety. Variety is the second need that we're going to be looking at with the second course. So these two are in conflict, but they also keep each other balanced as well. Yeah. So this process provides you with assurance that your actions will either avoid pain or gain pleasure. Okay. So if everything is organized, yeah, I'm going to avoid pain because I know that if I do the cleaning on a Monday morning, then I'm going to be fine for the rest of the week. So I don't have the pain of dealing with the house cleaning for the rest of the week. Yeah, or it can be gaining pleasure because I actually love having a clean house. So, I'm going to put myself through, the pain of doing it every morning, because then I know that the house is clean for the rest of the day. So that gives me pleasure. Okay, so it's a process that can give you assurance, yeah, which then fulfills the basic human need for certainty. Okay, so it is very is ingrained in us, is really, really a deep, deep need. Okay, let me see. There's a couple of comments coming up. Okay, yeah, have to leave soon. No worries. You can pick up. And can certainty include financial security? Absolutely, absolutely. So just think about all of those situations where if money, it gives me certainty. Yeah, if I need money to feel secure because it can pay my bills, my rent, my food, and money goes, or or I've been made redundant. Can you just imagine, what that would do to my certainty? If I've got money in my account or money in my savings account, then I can feel certain that I'm not going to worry. Now my car is broken and I have to use my savings to buy a new car. My certainty is gone. So financial security comes absolutely under this. And in fact, if I'm not wrong, in the Wellness Club, there's also a budget exercise, for people that want to plan around their finances. But yeah, people that are money driven can really focus on the financial side by looking at proper, financial plans, and kind of putting yourself targets. So let me just explain this as well. So if your certainty comes from money, yeah, there's a lot of people that would stress about this point because they feel that they never have the money that they need to live their life. Okay. However, the majority of people don't actually think about, what do I need? Yeah, as in they say I need money, but they don't say how much money they need. Okay, so having an idea of how much money you need to live a comfortable life, one, or how much money do you need to have a frivolous lifestyle, or to have financial freedom so that you never have to worry about money. What does that mean? How much are these figures? Yeah, I know that a lot of people would say, when I win the lottery, or if I win the lottery. Yeah, let's forget about the lottery. How much money do you need to live the life of your dreams? This comes into it. Yeah, so how much money, yeah, do I need, and where do I get it from? Where am I going to get to that amount? Okay, so if I think, like in terms of like giving some examples, yeah. So if you start looking at, okay, so I need to think about, what my mortgage is and how much I need to pay, to get to the end of it, or if you've already paid off your mortgage, what are your bills? How much do you need to kind of think, in the future, to pay for kids' education or holidays, think about the meals, think about the lifestyle that you want to have, whether you want to buy brand clothes or whether you just want to, look after your basic things, your utility bills, your Netflix, if that's all you want to do is, keep zapping from one channel to the other in your retirement, whatever it is, start planning, so what is the amount of money that you need to have, that you need to make to get to those things. And then it's not an abstract figure anymore, it's an actual tangible target. And you need to start thinking, okay, so to get there, this is what I need to do. This is the job that I need to have. Because if you say I need £2,000 a month to be able to live that life, and you're in a job that is paying you 1,400, sorry, you're going to be skint. You're not going to live the life of your needs. So it means that you need to pull your finger out and get another job, or develop yourself so that you're improving, your opportunities to earn more. It might be that you need to do a course, you need to go for a promotion, whatever it takes. But, is your opportunity to actually think, this is how I'm going to get there. Yeah. If you're only thinking about, I need to get there, but you're not doing anything about it, that's not going to give you security. It's not going to give you certainty. Okay. So it's about planning. And sometimes planning makes you work its way back as well. So once you know what the target is, once you know what your goal is, you can put a strategy in place to get there. Okay. And even, it doesn't matter if you're retired or near retirement and you think, well, how am I going to get there? Because I'm only going to have my pension. Well, just because you're on a pension, it doesn't mean that you can't stop, that you can't earn from anything else. Yeah, you can still look after it. You can invest your money as well. Even if it comes from your pension, you can still look into, cryptocurrencies or online trading. You can look at, a side job, whether it is, as a franchise, to doTERRA or, Zinzin or Forever Living, all of these companies out there that can still help you get in an income. Even if you're retired, so there's still opportunities. Or are you a knowledge broker? Yeah. Do you know what a knowledge broker is? A knowledge broker is what I do. Is basically when you have knowledge about something, something that you've learned in your life, and you create a course. Yeah. Because, think of the population of the world. How many people out there would benefit to learn what lessons you've learned in your life? It might not be about everything that you've done, but there might be a topic, like I'm talking about nutrition and neuro-linguistic programming. That's my experience. This is what I'm putting out to the world, but guess what? I got customers because I got people that are interested in what I've learned. I might not be the answer to everyone's problem out there. Yeah, but I'm the answer to some people that are experiencing detriment, or that are experiencing some health issues, or they are experiencing some mindset issues that they want to work with, and I got that knowledge to provide. So I created a course that I'm marketing, that I'm putting out there. Anyone can do this. You've got the opportunity to do that with anything that you've experienced in your life. If you've gone through a relationship breakup in the past, you can help people by telling them how you recovered from it. If you have raised children, you can put a course on how to raise your kids. If you have moved country, you can put together a course on how you've done it and how you adapted to the new way of living. Anything, any knowledge that you've got will be useful to someone. Okay, so there's always those opportunities to earn, or create a product. Yeah, create something new. Yeah, it could be the solution to a problem. I always go back to an amazing bit of lesson and teaching that I heard in the past about I think it was a Japanese teacher walking into a class and bowing to the students, when everyone thought, no, it should be the students bowing to the teacher. And the teacher explained that, well, the reason why I do that is because I could be in the presence of greatness, because actually there could be someone in my class They might go on to win a Nobel Prize. And you know what? It would be my honor to have known that I contributed to that, and that's why I bow to my students, so, amazing things out there, that, yourselves could contribute to resolving some of the biggest problems on earth. It's just about putting your knowledge out there. You can certainly have an impact on other people. So that was my little bit about the money side. So let me just check. Yeah, perfect. So certainty, however, is also an illusion. Okay, and this is where I might challenge your thinking a little bit, but we all try to avoid uncertainty, even if it means being wrong. Okay, we take comfort in certainty and we demand it of others, even when we know it's impossible. Okay, so this is just to say, you just look at some of the knowledge. Okay, I'll say something controversial, yeah, but it's something that stuck with me from something that I was reading. So basically, there was a piece of news yesterday or the day before, where basically they said that one third of COVID infections right now, 1/3 of COVID infections are unvaccinated people. Okay, so now the focus is one third of people that are not vaccinated are getting COVID. Okay, so this is the problem. Okay, so the certainty comes from, if you're not vaccinated, you're going to get COVID. Okay, but yeah, immediately my brain, and I was just like, what? I needed to I took that information in again and I read it again and I was like, but why are we talking about unvaccinated people here? Because what this news is telling us is that 2/3, which is bigger than 1/3, 2/3 of people getting COVID are people that are vaccinated. Okay, so it's just like, see, this is about how information is presented and what we are focusing on. Yeah, so yeah, granted, we're all getting COVID, whether you're vaccinated or not, but we are creating certainty, or some people are trying to create certainty out of how the news is read, out of how the information is presented. Okay, so maybe that's not a great example. I know that is controversial, whichever way you wanna think about vaccination. But when it comes to information and how we get certainty, sometimes we go and manipulate something, even okay, so you might have been in a situation where you're trying to explain to someone about a problem. So wait a second, let me think of an example. Yeah, okay, so I got cold and you know what? I've been reaching out to Fed, and Fed has told me that when I got a cold, if I do a ginger shot, is amazing. Yeah, it's going to really boost my metabolism, my immune system. It's going to get rid of infections, and you're telling this to a friend that has never heard about any natural remedies doing such a thing. Okay, now you are going to manipulate that information, whether you tried that shot or not, but this is the knowledge that you've got. So this is now your certainty, yeah, and you are going to sell your certainty to someone else. Okay, so you are going to really present that information, in the same way as we are presented information that is not always true, but is manipulated because you're trying to make a point. Okay, so we demand certainty of others, even when we know that it's impossible at times, and we do the same the other way around. So certainty is an illusion. Yeah, we create certainty in our mind. Yeah, is our belief. Yeah, like I said, if some people believe that the world is flat, yeah, but they believe it, even if the fact is wrong, that's their belief. Okay, so if we believe something, if we believe with certainty, yeah, if we're certain about something, is our belief. It's not someone else's. So certainty is an illusion, is a belief like all the other beliefs. Okay, so we demand certainty of others. We ask our bankers, doctors, and politician leaders, amongst others, to give it to us. What they deliver, however, is the illusion of certainty. We feel comfortable with this because we feel safe. Yeah. So if the economists are telling us, don't worry about the downturn, the economy is going to be fine next month, Yeah, we think, oh, okay, so I don't need to worry about, how I pay my bills because someone has told us this. Okay, we choose what we believe in, so we choose whether we want to feel safe or not, whether we want to feel certain or not. Technology changes how we see things. It amplifies the illusion of certainty. Yeah, so before technology, before the internet, we relied on the news, on the newspapers. Now with the internet, technology is allowing more information sharing, and this amplifies the illusion of certainty. Because if someone says, did you hear that I don't know, sorry, my mind keeps going to COVID because at the moment that's all that is in the news. So and I don't want to use that as an example, but let's talk about the cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so did you hear that Bitcoin is going to become absolutely huge by the end of the year, and you're going to earn a lot of money if you're going to invest into Bitcoin? Yeah, all of a sudden you're going to have loads of people that are sharing this information on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and everything else, and people are going to go, wow, we're all going to get rich, let's all go and put money into Bitcoin. So that news is amplified because of technology, and that gives the illusion of certainty, but it could be just a rumor that someone started. Okay, but all of a sudden you've got a following of people that feel certain that is factual. Okay, so it is very much about what you believe. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that everything is false. Yeah, it just means that we need to pick what we believe in according to what makes us feel safe. Okay, but sometimes that we need to be prepared that belief might be wrong, and obviously then our certainty is going to be shaken as a result, because certainty is an illusion, is a belief. Okay, righto. So what can we do to nourish our need for certainty? So how do we fulfill our need for certainty? So you can meet any of the 7 human needs by destructive, neutral, or constructive means. Okay, so there's different actions that you can do. So for certainty or comfort, we intend the ability to satisfy our most basic needs for safety, security, survival. And this also relates to the ability to produce, eliminate, or avoid stress, or create, increase, or intensify pleasure. Yeah, we've already explored all of this. Yeah, so I'm just reiterating what we just covered so far. So the ways, the vehicles, for us to fulfill this need would be by control. Okay, so I'm a control freak now. Yeah, so that will give me safety because and stability, because I'm going to try and control everything. Consistency. Yeah, so having a plan. Yeah, I plan my meals, I plan my routine, I plan my week. That can give us certainty. Learned helplessness. Okay, so I'm not good at anything. Every time that I try something, I fail. Yeah, so by feeling helpless, if I don't do anything, that gives me certainty because I don't do anything. So I know that I'm helpless, and that's how I live my life. Okay, so that can be destructive behavior, but that can give me security because I don't have to challenge or improve myself. Negative identity. Yeah, so again, I'm not good at anything. Yeah, so I convince myself of that, and then, that's my identity. So that gives me certainty. Completion. Yeah, so these are the people that try to complete everything, even if it's not done properly. Okay, so these are the people that rush right the way through. Yeah, because at least I know that it's ended, it's finished, it's done. Yeah, so by completing things, this is a lot of children. Have you cleaned your bedroom? Yes, I have. Yeah, and the bedroom is still upside down. Yeah, so that's completion. Yeah, that's rushing through. Yeah, that gives certainty. Yeah, because the kids will say, yeah, now I've done it and now I can play. Yeah, that gives them certainty. I've done it. Yeah. Identity. Again, negative identity, positive identity is how you identify. So when you created an identity, so I am a positive person, that gives me certainty because I'm positive. This is how I dress myself. This is how I present myself. This is what I tell people. I'm positive. I'm a person. I'm a positive person. So that gives certainty about who I am. Faith can give certainty as well. So I believe in God, I believe in the universe, I believe in the energy, so that faith can give me certainty because I'm looked after, because, God looks after me, because the universe has got my back. Yeah. So that can give certainty as well. The belief in guidance. Yeah. So I follow what people tell me. Yes, so certainty can come from the people that I mix with, the people that I follow, the teachers, Fed that is teaching this course. That can give me certainty that my health is being looked after. Okay, so these are the potential vehicles for you to nourish certainty. Okay, so that's how you do it. But this is the exercise. Okay, so the exercise is about how you get certainty. So all human beings are constantly seeking to meet all the 7 needs, but know how you value each need can better understand the choices you make, as well as your emotional patterns. So the question is, what are your ways to get certainty, positive and negative? So this is how you need to start listing for yourself. Yeah, where do I get my certainty from? Positive and negative. Do I get it out of cleaning? Do I get it out of listening to what my partner has to say all the time, or letting my partner make decisions? Do I get it out of my job? Do I get certainty out of watching the news? Do I get certainty out of reading a book? Yeah. How do I get my certainty? Yeah. And there's a follow-on question really as well, because you need to assess where you're at with this question, but you also need to think about, do I need to change that? Can I improve where I get my certainty from? Yeah, so this is going to be your homework. Okay, so this is answering this question. You can start giving it some thoughts, because I'm sure that you're already sparking up and thinking, ooh, how do I answer this one? Where actually, how do I get certainty? I never thought about this. So you're going to give it some thought, and it might not be a lengthy exercise. Yeah, because it might be the certainty is not your worry, is not high on your priority. Okay, but for other people, if you don't have a job currently, for example, that could be high. So you might think about what are the things that dictate that certainty. Positive and negative. Remember, there's always positives and negatives. So it can also, like I said, it can be that I get certainty out of defining myself as a slob, because that gives me certainty, because I don't have to clean. You can do it both ways. Yeah, so it can really be interesting to explore it, but it certainly will help you understanding more about how you make decisions, how you value each of the needs. So when you start understanding more about certainty, it will help you to better understand how you make your choices. Yeah, and whether there's a pattern. Yeah, because you might find that there's things that will come up during the weeks. Yeah, and you start saying, oh, actually, when it comes to it, every time that I feel crap is because I have made a choice. Yeah, or I've taken a decision. Yeah, okay, so let me give you a tangible example. I have now realized that I feel really sad and depressed and annoyed after I went on a shopping spree. Yeah, because actually my certainty comes from having money. I might get moody and I may feel that I need to go on a shopping spree to make myself feel better. So I bought new clothes and I feel amazing and I look amazing. But a week later, I feel crap because I spent that money. My certainty comes from money. And now I spent the money that I had, or even more. I spent the money that I didn't have. So now I feel bad. I feel horrible, I feel crap, and I feel moody and angry that I spent that money. Yeah, so you can start spotting patterns. Yeah, because you've shaken your stability out of spending money. Money might be the driving force. So if you are getting certainty out of money, that, could be the initial way of starting recognizing that there's a pattern there. Okay, but awareness precedes change. Okay, so these exercises are designed for you to become more aware of really the driving forces, the behaviors, the values, the beliefs that are behind how you make decisions. Because the more you're aware of this, the more you think about it, and the more you can influence how you're going to behave in future, how you're going to change. Okay, so it's really important that you give this some thought. Okay, so that will be your homework. Yeah, so what are the ways that get you certainty, positive and negative? Okay, and how to tell if certainty is one of your core needs. Okay, so you are trustworthy, you always do what you say you'll do, you enjoy planning, thrive on a schedule, and are very organized. Okay, and you're also on the other side, you're hesitant to take risks and have new experiences. Oh, I don't want to go wild camping. Don't know what's going to happen. I much rather would go to an hotel. Yeah, so it's kind of like that kind of feeling. You may fall into addictive or obsessive behavior because certainty comes out of scheduled repetition, predictive stuff. Yeah, so if it is not like that, you get addicted to the stuff that you're secure on. Yeah, so that is the pattern. Okay, and how to fulfill the need for certainty, so to recap, is to find activities that you enjoy, but that also push you to slightly out of your comfort zone. So just start thinking about those things that, yeah, okay, I know that I can organize my files, but it doesn't matter whether whether I do it every week. I can do it once a month and I'm still going to have them organized. So pushing yourself a little bit out of the comfort zone. Incorporating healthy and empowering routines into your life. So, if you are in a negative pattern where you are a slob and you're not good at anything, yeah, to change that to a more healthy and empowering routine where actually, okay, I'm a slob, but I'm going to clean the house once a week. And I'm going to start telling myself that at least I'm good at that. Yeah, is going to improve your mental health. Is going to get you into a more positive mindset. Yeah, so incorporating healthy and empowering routines. Also, like the affirmations, those incantations, those mantras that you tell yourself. If you go back to the foundation, I am safe, I'm creative, I'm strong. All of those, are healthy routines. They are really going to help you change in your mindset. Give back to others to promote growth and contribution in a consistent way. Yeah. So this is not just telling someone well done once. This is about sharing with others. Oh, this is something that I've done and this made me feel great. How about you do it? Do you want me to show you? Do you need a hand? And doing it consistently so that contribution can really help you, to get stability and certainty, because, it can really help you, getting a sense of satisfaction. Yeah. So when you're doing the things that you love, you're going to feel certainty. Yeah, that you're getting recognition, that you're getting growth, that you're getting satisfaction out of those things. And the last couple of things here to mention. So creating a routine helps you to get certainty. Okay, so this is not necessarily about becoming compulsive with your routine, but a routine can put your brain on autopilot. It means that when you're concentrating on your routine, yeah, because those things become a habit and you're doing it every day, you can then, you have more freedom, more space in your mind to concentrate on bigger things. Yeah. So for example, if we talk about Apple for a second, Steve Jobs had, before dying, if you remember the Apple presentations when he brought out the new version of the iPhone or the new MacBook or whatever, like, you can watch them back. Those presentations are still all up on the internet. And Steve Jobs, like even now, if I think of him, he always wore denim jeans and a black turtleneck jumper. Yeah. And that's how he always did his presentation. And when he was asked why, he always had the same, because some people thought that it was, out of luck, it was like those were his lucky clothes, so those were the clothes that he wore, for those presentations. But no, that's what he wore every day. Yeah, and it's because he basically used, that as a routine. Yeah, so he chose, those are comfortable clothes. For me, I feel comfortable, I feel happy wearing those. So I am going to wear these clothes because they are giving me, they're basically part of my routine. It means that I'm not going to have to stress every morning, what shall I wear? Does this look good with that? Do I look good in it? Does my ass look too big in it? All of this stuff that is going to cause stress is going to be out of the way. So if something else happens, then you got the ability, the opportunity to focus that energy onto other stuff. Yeah. So it's really much about that. It's about, when you have rhythm, yeah, in your life, in your daily life, the backdrop to everything else is the backdrop. Sorry, the routine is the backdrop to everything that you do. So if you know that if you've got a routine where in the morning you're going to have your breakfast and then you're doing some meditation and perhaps you're able to do 5 minutes of exercise, yeah, that can set you up for a positive mindset for the rest of the day. Yeah, so why would you not put that in place? Because you know that is going to affect the rest of the day. So that is going to be the stuff that that really can change the rest of your life. So why would you not want to do that? But you need to get into the habit of doing it. So creating habits that last can take up to 18 weeks. Yeah, so 18 weeks is 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, so you need to really give it some. No, is it 6 months? Well, almost. No, it's 5 months. Is it? Yeah, ish. Yeah. So if you think about that time, yeah, for you to actually create something that you think, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to create a routine of things that I want to do that create the repetition. That's going to give you rhythm. Rhythm gives you certainty. Yeah, because you are going to predict what's going to happen. You're not going to predict your car breaking down or burning your meal and having to start again. Those are things that are going to happen. But knowing that after you've dealt with that, you're going back to your routine. Yeah, is creating certainty. It makes us more relaxed. Yeah, so if it takes about 18 weeks to create new habits, if that feels like a long time, think of this way: it's only 0.5% of the average person's lifespan. So surely you can dedicate 0.5% of your life to making a daily routine that will lead to healthy achievement and fulfillment. Yeah, so literally, spending the time to creating a routine of what is important to you, can take very little time in comparison to what benefits you're going to get out of it. Make it a must. Yeah, so just put on your routine the things that are going to be 100% that you enjoy and that you're going to do, and then you commit to them. Yeah, so connect making a daily routine to your ultimate purpose and goals in life. So go back to the questions at the beginning. Yeah, purpose, meaning, and emotions. Why am I here and how? Yeah, and why? Why am I here? And what's important ultimately for me to achieve my why? When you're doing that, yeah, then obviously the things that you choose to put in your routine are going to have meaning because they are aligned to your why. Start small, but be consistent. Yeah, so only pick a couple of things, but stick to them, and then add more to your routine. Okay, so if you're saying to yourself, I am going to go to the gym because I want to have the most amazing body, don't start saying I'm going to go to the gym for 2 hours a day, because you ain't. If you've never gone to the gym, you ain't going to go for 2 hours a day. I can guarantee you. Me and Giussiani and other people have started this week. Yeah, you ain't going to do 2 hours a day if you've never gone to the gym. Start with, I'm going to go for half an hour. Yeah, you're going to go half an hour every day or every other day, and then you increase it once you've achieved it. But you stick with it. Whatever it is that you're saying, you are going to do it, and you're going to do it consistently. Yeah, okay, it might happen. You might have to skip one day, but you get back on it and you do it the following day. Yeah, you don't leave it because you haven't gone once, now I failed. Yeah, you just carry on. And then you increase it. You keep adding to your plan. Okay, and examples of things that you can add to your daily routine. from successful people. So fueling up, making sure that you have your breakfast, most important meal of the day. Yeah, so making sure that you've got the energy that you need for the day ahead. Make it nutritious, make it healthy, fill it with stuff that really are going to nourish you for the rest of the day. Meditation, even if it's just 5 minutes, whether it's at the beginning of your day, whether it's during your day, just get yourself head space. Yeah, just 5 minutes of pure thinking. This is what is happening to me right now. Focus on your senses. What do I hear? What do I feel? What do I see? What do I taste? What do I smell? Yeah, that's about, analyzing what's going on in your head. Yeah, and it's all it takes. It's not about clearing your head. Oh, look, I just happened to think about that holiday that I had. Oh, wait a minute, food about tonight. Focus on whatever it is, but let those thoughts go. Yeah, just give yourself that little bit of time to just think, okay, right, what's going on in my head, rather than what am I reacting to. Okay, exercise, as little as it may be. Yeah, there we are. That's my exercise for the day. As literally whatever you want to do, but anything that it changes your movement. Yeah, it doesn't have to break a sweat. It might be to go for a walk around the block. It could be going up the stairs in your bedroom, up and down a couple of times. Just get some exercise. Just get your body moving. Writing. Okay, so writing very much. The two things that I would recommend, it would be to set your intentions for the day. You can write in the morning, this is what I'm going to do today. Yeah, and then going back to have a look at what you set out. You can do it on your phone. It doesn't have to be writing in pen, but you can make a note to yourself, a to-do list. These are the things that I must do today. These are the things that I plan to do today. If you got a list, you're more likely to stick to it than not having the list. Yeah, if you don't have the list, you probably will forget by the time you got out of bed. If you write, that list, is there for you to reference to during the day, and try to take those things off. I write a lot in my calendar, on my phone. I have a schedule of the things that I have to do, because otherwise I don't do them. But they're also a reference point, so I can go back. The other thing that you can write at the end of the day, this is a really good thing to do, is a journal. You can either write about what has happened to you during the day, or gratitude. A gratitude journal is very simple thing to do. Write down 3 things every night that you're grateful for from what has happened during the day. So 3 grateful things every day. So just keep that. And when you're grateful, you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Yeah, so it really helps you getting into bed. It actually has a physical impact on us as well, makes us feel better. It can also improve our health and well-being. Learning is another one. So, one part of your routine could be to subscribe to an audiobook app, or it could be to go on a course, or to do something that gets you to learn something new. It doesn't have to be, about anything in particular. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be that that you want to be healthier with your food. So you're going to learn to cook a new recipe every day. Or it could be that you're going to learn a new language, or it could be that you're going to learn more about neuro-linguistic programming. It could be that you're learning more about how to be a better parent. Whatever it is, I'm going to learn more about what to forage locally. Yeah, whatever it is, anything that gets you to learn can really be part of your routine and can really push you forward. So those are some of the examples. Remember, part of the process, we always use the FED method. So the naturally fed method is all about feed, explore, and design. Yeah, so we feel, not feed. So we feel. So how do we feel? We assess the situation. Yeah, what's going on? Then we explore. Yeah, so we look, what are our options? Let's put a plan together. So we design the program, we design our strategy, we implement it, and that will get us back to feel. How do I feel now? Do I need to change something? So we're talking about certainty here. So how do I feel about certainty? How do I get certainty? Those questions, that homework, okay, that will get us to explore. So, okay, I didn't realize that actually I'm so money motivated, or actually I feel shaken when you know, me and my partner have an argument, you know, I feel really unstable and uncertain. Okay, so what am I going to do? I design my strategy. So this is how I'm going to get more money, or this is what I'm going to do to our relationship to feel better. Okay, how do I feel now? Oh, I feel amazing. Oh, actually, there's something else that I forgot. So I go back and I explore, and then I design. You know, so it's an ongoing process. Okay, but you can do it with anything really that happens in your life. Remember that you got the resources in the Wellness Club as well to refer to, and that I keep adding to. And of course, you've got complimentary membership for the duration of the course. And then after that is £10 a month if you want to stay as a member. And you got my contact details if you need to reach out to me. But of course, you have until Friday to think about any questions. And obviously, we're going to be having our Q&A on Friday. If you can't attend live, then obviously you can post your questions and I'll answer them during the session. And obviously, you can watch the recordings for that afterwards. So here we go. Lesson 1. Done. I hope that gave you a lot more insight into certainty. I hope I didn't make you too uncertain. You know, that would be counteracting. But there was definitely, again, a lot of knowledge and a lot of concepts to explore. So if you feel challenged, if you feel, you know, that this was a you know, difficult to understand, if you need more clarity, just reach out. Obviously, I'm here to support. But otherwise, I will see you on Friday. Let me just double check because I can see that there's a couple of comments as well that I didn't notice. Yeah, Caroline, feeling, yes, financial security. This is my issue. I feel that I have to keep on working for money. Do I really need this? Do I really need money? Do you need money to live? You know, does it come from that? So some questions there. On Friday, the time is the same. So it will be at 11. We start with the Q&A. Definitely lots to think about for everyone, including myself. As I was writing the lesson, I was like, am I really like this? Gosh, I didn't realize. And, you know, so there's a lot of stuff that you need to think about. And I hope that I haven't opened too many cans of worms. Definitely it's always good to think about this stuff. As I said, awareness precedes change. So remember that all the hard work that you put into this when you're answering those questions will allow you to change into a better version of yourself. Okay, keep up the good work. Amazing. You take care. Have a good week, and I will see you on Friday. Ciao, ciao. Yay. Bye-bye.